Chosen one. Pause for a moment. Your eyes did not land on these words by accident. You are here because heaven itself arranged this meeting. Out of millions, only 1 in a million carries the mark. And your left hand has borne a mystery that cannot be ignored. That subtle line, that strange shape, that burning awareness, when you look at it, it is not coincidence. It is the whisper of eternity pressed into your flesh. A hidden sign that tells you, you are not like the rest. You have always felt it. Others brush past without noticing. But you sense that something about you resists blending in. The mark on your left hand is a signature, a divine seal that separates you from the ordinary, even when you tried to bury it, even when you convinced yourself you were imagining it. That mark continued to echo. You were chosen. Do you understand the weight of this? God does not place signs randomly. From ancient days, He has marked His people to show the world that they belong to Him. This is why doors opened for you that others thought impossible. This is why storms rose against you with such violence. This is why you felt misunderstood in rooms where everyone else seemed at home. The mark is your evidence. And yet, this discovery comes with urgency, because with a mark comes a mission, and with a mission comes a decision. You cannot treat this lightly. Listen carefully. The heavens have paused everything around you so that you would receive this message. You have been identified as one who cannot fade into the background. You have been marked as a torchbearer in a world full of shadows. It was proclaimed in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 1, verse 7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. This verse is not just comfort, it is confirmation. Your mark is not a curse, it is a seal of power. You have been equipped with courage, with divine strength, and with clarity of purpose. You may have thought the battles were meant to destroy you, but in truth, they were meant to reveal you. Every attack was proof that darkness recognized what you carried before you even did. So now you stand at a crossroads. The question is not whether you are chosen, you already are. The question is whether you will embrace it fully. Will you walk as 1 in a million? Or will you shrink back and pretend you are ordinary? This is the moment when hesitation must die. This is the moment when obedience becomes your only option. Beloved chosen one, do not dismiss this. Many will scroll past, blind to what heaven is declaring. But you, yes, you are being called out of the crowd. That is why the mark is not on their hand, but on yours. This is why God has interrupted your day. This is why you are reading now. I urge you, take this revelation seriously. Share this message so that other marked ones may awaken. For there are more who still sleep. Comment below and declare the prophetic number 777, a sign that you hear heaven's call and you are ready to step into your destiny. And if you have not yet done so, subscribe now, because these words will not stop flowing. There is more. Your spirit must hear, and you cannot afford to miss it. Chosen one, let the mark remind you daily. You are rare. You are set apart. You are sealed. And this is only the beginning of the revelation. Chosen one, listen carefully. The mark on your left hand is more than a physical sign. It is a whisper from eternity. A reminder that your story began long before you ever entered this world. That line, that scar, that unusual impression you may have overlooked is heaven's way of revealing that you were seen before you were born. The mark is not chance. It is not coincidence. It is divine handwriting on your skin, a seal of eternal belonging. Think back to the times you felt out of place, the moments when you looked around and wondered why you were different. Others could follow the crowd, but something inside you resisted. You could not walk their path, even if you tried. That resistance was the echo of eternity, calling you back to your true identity. The mark is confirmation of what your spirit already knew. You were chosen before time. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, "For the revelation awaits, an appointed time, though it linger. Wait for it. It will certainly come, and not delay." These words are not distant. They describe your life. The mark was always there, but the understanding of it had to wait for its appointed time. You may have gone years without knowing why it existed, but the moment of revelation has finally arrived. Nothing was delayed. It was always on schedule. Heaven never runs late, and neither do the purposes tied to your mark. This truth explains why you felt the weight of delay in your life. Plans seemed to stall. Promises looked like they slipped away, and prayers went unanswered for seasons that felt endless. Yet all of it was alignment. The revelation of your mark could only come when your spirit was strong enough to carry the knowledge without breaking under its weight. What you thought was silence was really preparation. Chosen one. Think of how a seed lies hidden in the soil. For weeks, for months, nothing appears above the ground. To anyone watching, it looks like nothing is happening, but underneath, in the unseen, roots are growing, foundations are being laid, and then, suddenly, the sprout pushes through the surface, visible for the first time. That is what your mark represents. For years, it was hidden in plain sight, unnoticed, even by you. But the time of revelation has come, and what was buried is now rising to the surface. Do not mistake this for something ordinary. 1 in a million carries such a mark. That means multitudes will never understand you, never see what you see, never feel the fire in your spirit. You will always walk a path that feels narrower than theirs. You will always carry burdens they cannot imagine. But in exchange, you also carry glory that they cannot touch. The mark whispers of responsibility. It does not exist just to comfort you. It exists to commission you. If heaven has gone so far as to etch a sign into your very hand, it means your calling cannot be ignored. It means you were never meant to simply exist, but to disrupt, to shift, to awaken. You are living proof that heaven is still writing stories in the flesh of humanity. This whisper from eternity is not here to flatter you. It is here to awaken you. Everything about your life has been pointing to this revelation, and now that you see it, you cannot unsee it. Now that you know, you cannot unknow. Your mark is heaven's reminder that you were not placed here by accident. You were chosen, appointed, sealed, and sent. Carry this truth carefully. Let it shape the way you see yourself and the way you walk into every room. Remember, eternity has already spoken over you, and the mark on your hand is the evidence that cannot be erased. Chosen one. The mark on your left hand is not only a sign of eternity, it is proof that heaven has seen your silent battles. The scars no one else understood. The tears you wiped in the dark. The nights when you prayed and wondered if God heard you, all of it has been recorded. The mark is the evidence that your pain was never wasted. Every rejection, every betrayal, Every door that slammed in your face was shaping you. People may have walked away, but heaven leaned in closer. You thought you were abandoned, yet you were being refined. The mark on your hand carries the story of survival. It is heaven's reminder that every silent battle was seen, and every hidden struggle was counted. You see, the enemy never wastes energy on those who do not matter. If you faced relentless pressure, it is because you carried weight that terrified the darkness. The mark on your hand was like a beacon, exposing you as one chosen, even when you did not yet know it yourself. The storms of your past were not random. They were targeted because of the seal you bear. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 11, "Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me." These words unlock the meaning of your story. You were not rejected because you were worthless. You were rejected because you were marked. You were not misunderstood because you were broken. You were misunderstood because your light exposed what others wanted to keep hidden. Every insult, every wound, every tear was confirmation that you belonged to the chosen. Now, listen carefully. This is the moment where your story shifts. You cannot keep rehearsing the pain of the past without seeing the purpose behind it. The mark is your reminder that those battles were not in vain. What nearly destroyed you has become the very evidence that you are unstoppable. The mark whispers that your destiny is still intact, that your purpose is still alive, and that heaven is still watching over you. Below, chosen one. I invite you now to make a declaration of faith. Type these words in the comments: "Fire in my hand." This is not just a phrase, it is a spiritual announcement. When you declare, "Fire in my hand," you are testifying that the mark on your left hand is not just a scar or a sign, but a flame of destiny. You are proclaiming that you carry divine fire that no darkness can extinguish. Understand this: fire purifies, fire guides, and fire consumes. When you release those words, you are aligning yourself with the truth that your hand has been marked not for weakness, but for power. You are declaring that what once looked like an ordinary hand now carries heaven's authority. By commenting this, you are saying, "I will not let this fire be hidden. I will not allow this flame to be wasted. I will carry it boldly." So, let this be the turning point. You are not just marked, you are ignited. You are not just surviving, you are blazing a path forward. Every battle you endured is now fuel for your fire. The mark on your hand is no longer a mystery, it is your testimony. And today, by declaring your faith, you step boldly into what heaven already saw when it chose you. Carry this truth. Chosen one, your silent battles were never wasted. They were heaven's way of preparing you for the moment you would rise and declare, "Fire in my hand." No, chosen one. The mark upon your left hand is not just skin deep. What heaven etched there is not limited to the surface. It is a signal of light running through your very being. It is as if light has been woven into your veins, flowing unseen but undeniable. Others may look at your hand and see nothing remarkable, but in the spirit, it blazes with brilliance. Darkness recognizes it even when people cannot. Think of it this way: there are those who live as though they are candles, flickering and fragile, easily snuffed out by the winds of circumstance. But you, chosen one, are not a candle, you are a torch. You were not lit to be hidden under a basket, but to shine in the open, where the flame can push back the night. The mark in your hand is heaven's sign that you carry more than human strength. It is divine fire woven into your identity. This is why you have often felt the weight of carrying something within you that others did not understand. You have walked into rooms and felt atmospheres shift without speaking a word. You have stood near people who could not explain why they felt both drawn to you and threatened by you. What they sensed was the light within your veins, the mark announcing itself quietly yet powerfully. The ancient words recorded in Romans chapter 13, verse 12, declare, "The night is nearly over, the day is almost here. So let us put aside the deeds of darkness and put on the armor of light." That is what your mark is, armor of light. It is not merely a reminder, it is protection. It is the signature of heaven that says, "This one belongs to the day, not the night." It says, "This one is clothed in light." Even when surrounded by shadows, that is why you have survived what should have destroyed you. The armor guarded you, even when you did not recognize it. Chosen one, the light in your veins terrifies darkness. That is why some people could not stand to be near you. Not because you did them harm, but because your very presence revealed what they tried to conceal. Darkness cannot hide where light is present. That is why certain circles never accepted you. That is why doors closed before you. It was never rejection of you, it was rejection of the light blazing through you. The mark also carries responsibility. Light is never given just for oneself. A torch does not only keep its bearer safe, it guides others, shows them the way, pushes back fear for everyone within its glow. The mark in your hand means you are not only protected, but you are also appointed as a guide. You may not have asked for it, but heaven entrusted you with it. You are the one who carries light where others only see dark. And here lies the beauty. Light does not strain to shine. It does not fight to be noticed. It simply exists. And by existing, it transforms its surroundings. Chosen one. You do not need to prove your worth to anyone. You do not need to fight for recognition. The mark in your hand proves it already. The light in your veins speaks louder than explanations. Your calling is not to argue about your destiny, but to walk in it until it speaks for itself. So carry yourself with quiet confidence. Do not be shaken when some turn away from you. Do not dim yourself to make others comfortable. You were never meant to be ordinary. The mark is heaven's reminder you were lit to blaze. And every step you take, every word you speak, every silent prayer you whisper, light is moving through you, marking you as one in a million, chosen one. The mark on your left hand is more visible to your enemies than it has ever been to you. Before you even understood what it meant, the forces of darkness already recognized it. That is why you have faced unusual resistance. That is why people seem to rise against you without cause. It was not about who you are in the natural, it was about what you carry in the spirit. Hell does not waste its strength on the ordinary. The attacks against you were proof of your identity. The enemy knew you were marked before you knew it yourself. You may have thought the rejections, betrayals, and struggles were random, but in truth, they were targeted. Darkness could see the flame on your hand, and it feared what you were becoming. Do you remember the moments when you were misunderstood? When people turned cold without reason? That was the mark speaking louder than words. It separated you, even when you tried to blend in. You wondered why you could not simply walk unnoticed through life, but chosen one. How could you? When the seal of heaven burns on your hand, the voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus. Chapter 14. Verse 14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. This truth is your anchor, even when enemies recognized you first. Even when their hostility rose. You were never left defenseless. The mark was not placed on you to make you vulnerable, but to show that you are under heaven's protection. The battles you faced were not meant to crush you, but to reveal that you do not fight alone. Chosen one. You need to understand this. The mark does not just expose you to opposition. It also guarantees you victory. Your enemies tremble because they see what is on your hand. They know you have been set apart. They know their plans cannot prosper against you, and though the battle may rage, the outcome is already sealed. The light in your veins is stronger than any darkness around you. Yet in this journey, you are not meant to carry revelation alone. Just as others once spoke into your life and awakened what was sleeping in you, so too must you allow this message to reach those who still walk blind. There are countless marked ones who do not yet understand why they are different, who have mistaken their battles for curses instead of confirmations. This is why I speak to you with sincerity. Do not keep this truth to yourself. Share it so another chosen one might recognize their mark. When you share, you become part of heaven's chain of awakening, a link in the divine plan to call the marked ones out of hiding. And if these words resonate in your spirit, take a moment to like this message, not for vanity, but as a sign that you are aligning with it. That small act is a prophetic agreement, saying, "Yes, I see, and I believe." Subscribe as well, not out of routine, but because the journey does not end here. Each word released in the days ahead carries pieces of revelation you will need. Stay connected, so that nothing heaven intends for you slips through your grasp. Beloved chosen one, understand this. Even when enemies recognized you before you recognized yourself, you were never abandoned. The mark on your hand was not given to shame you, but to shield you. And now, by receiving and sharing this message, you strengthen the army of marked ones rising across the earth. Walk boldly. Your enemies already know who you are now. It is time for you to know it too. Chosen one. The mark on your left hand is not only a sign of favor, it is a call to obedience. With every divine seal comes responsibility. Heaven does not place a mark simply to make you unique. It places it so that your life will answer a higher call. The mark is an invitation to surrender, to walk in paths not many are willing to take. There have been times when you felt the weight of hesitation. You sensed the nudge of God leading you forward, yet you delayed. You promised you would obey tomorrow, when things felt easier, but tomorrow never arrived, and the calls still echoed. That tension you feel in your spirit, the constant stirring, is the mark refusing to let you settle for less. And understand this, chosen one, delay does not erase the call. It only deepens the unrest. The longer you resist, the heavier your spirit becomes, because what is written over you cannot be silenced. The mark insists that you move, rise, and obey without compromise, as was spoken in the sacred texts of old, in Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 19. This day I call the heavens and the earth as witnesses against you that I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose life, so that you and your children may live. This is the urgency of the mark. It does not leave room for endless procrastination. Heaven is saying, choose life, choose obedience, choose destiny. To delay is to risk drifting away from the very purpose you were sealed for. You may ask, why obedience? Why is it required? Because obedience is the bridge between promise and fulfillment. You have been chosen, but without obedience, you cannot walk into what has been prepared. Disobedience delays destiny, but obedience unlocks it. Your mark is a reminder that you cannot live like everyone else. Your steps carry weight. Your choices echo louder. Think of how many times you stood at the edge of breakthrough but felt resistance. Often, the final barrier was not external, it was the battle within. The choice to trust or to shrink back. The mark on your hand is heaven's way of pressing you forward, urging you not to lose what is yours through hesitation. Beloved, chosen one, this moment is sacred. Heaven is drawing a line before you, obedience or delay, surrender or wandering, and because you bear the mark, the decision cannot be casual. You have been entrusted with too much to live half-heartedly. Now, to seal this moment, I invite you to declare alignment with heaven's call. Comment the prophetic number 444 below. This number is a symbol of divine order and stability, a sign that you are choosing to align your steps with the structure of heaven. When you write it, do not see it as a routine action, see it as a prophetic act. You are saying, I will no longer delay. I choose obedience. I choose order. I choose life. Chosen one. Never forget, the mark on your hand is both a gift and a command. And today, heaven is calling you to rise in full surrender, to let your obedience unlock the destiny already written for you. Chosen one. The mark on your hand is not just a seal, it is the unfolding of ancient prophecy. Long before you took your first breath, long before your family even spoke your name, the scrolls of heaven carried the record of your life. What you are seeing now is not new. It is a revelation of what has always been written. Imagine this: before kingdoms rose and fell, before generations passed through the earth, the author of eternity inscribed your existence in his book. The mark on your hand is proof that the words on those ancient scrolls are still alive, breathing through your life. It is not a recent development, it is a fulfillment. As the prophet Isaiah declared in the scrolls, chapter 46, verse 10, I make known the end from the beginning. From ancient times, what is still to come, I say, my purpose will stand, and I will do all that I please. Do you see it now? The mark is a signature of purpose. It was not placed there after you struggled, not after you survived. It was there before, hidden in plain sight, waiting for the appointed time to awaken you. Every trial you faced, every lesson you learned, was already accounted for in the scroll. Nothing took heaven by surprise. This is why your life has always carried a sense of weight, even when you did not understand it. You were never just moving through time, you were walking in prophecy. Every detour, every delay, every storm was woven into the narrative that was already written. The mark simply reveals what your spirit has carried all along. Chosen one. Understand the depth of this. Prophecy is not bound by human effort. It does not crumble under opposition. What God has written cannot be erased by the failures of men. Even your own missteps, even your doubts, cannot undo what was inscribed in eternity. The mark on your hand stands as a reminder that your story was sealed long before you questioned it. Think of how many times you thought you missed it. How many moments you felt like you had ruined everything. Yet, here you stand, still marked, still chosen, still walking forward. That is prophecy unfolding. That is heaven's faithfulness, refusing to abandon what it declared. The ancient scroll unfolds piece by piece, not all at once. That is why you often felt frustration, as if you only held fragments of the picture. But prophecy was never meant to overwhelm you with the entire vision at once. It reveals itself in stages, so that with each step, you learn obedience, trust, and courage. The mark on your hand is one of those revelations, a piece of the puzzle unveiled, so you would finally know. You are walking in a divine script. Do not despise the process. The scroll does not rush, but it never fails. Just as seasons change with perfect rhythm, so too does the prophecy over your life unfold with precise timing. You are not late. You are not behind. You are right where the scroll said you would be. Even now, chosen one. Rest in this assurance. The mark on your hand proves you are part of something much older, much greater than yourself. You are a living prophecy, walking evidence that heaven's words never return void. And as the scroll continues to unfold, you will see more clearly that nothing, no rejection, nor failure, no darkness can erase what was written about you from the beginning. Chosen one. There are moments in life when everything seems to pause, when time itself feels interrupted, and you sense that heaven is leaning in close. These interruptions are not random. They are orchestrated moments when eternity breaks into your ordinary routine. The mark on your left hand is one of those interruptions. It is heaven's way of saying, stop, pay attention. You cannot miss this. Think back to the times when you were heading in one direction, certain of your plans, and suddenly something shifted. A door closed, a relationship ended, or a path you thought would carry you forward abruptly stopped. You may have called it bad luck, disappointment, or even failure. But chosen one, many of those moments were not setbacks, they were divine pauses. Heaven was intervening, halting your steps so you would not drift too far from the path written for you. The prophet Elijah spoke, as recorded in the first book of Kings, chapter 18, verse 21. How long will you waver between two opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him. But if Baal is God, follow him. This is the voice of heaven in your pauses. When everything seems frozen, when time feels suspended, it is often because heaven is pressing a question to your spirit. Whom will you follow? Will you stay in distraction? Or will you align with destiny? The mark on your hand is the physical reminder of these interruptions. It speaks silently, yet powerfully, calling you back whenever you wander too far. When you ignore it, life feels restless, incomplete. But when you acknowledge it, there is a sense of alignment, a recognition that you are exactly where you are meant to be. Chosen one. Consider how many times you thought your life was delayed, only to realize later that the delay saved you. A job you lost kept you from a path of destruction. A relationship that ended spared you from years of compromise. An opportunity that slipped away preserved your energy for something greater. These were not accidents, they were divine pauses, carefully arranged so you would remain within reach of your calling. The pause is not punishment, it is mercy. Heaven halts time around you so that your spirit can catch up to your destiny. The mark ensures you are not overlooked in these moments. It signals to heaven and earth alike that you are one of the chosen, one of the few who cannot be left to wander endlessly. There is also protection in the pause. When storms raged around you, when everything seemed uncertain, the mark was the shield that held you steady. It whispered, "Wait. Be still. This is not the end. It is alignment." And though you did not always recognize it, that stillness was heaven preparing the next step. Do not despise these interruptions. Learn to embrace them. For while others may rush ahead, chasing noise and distractions, you have been set apart to hear the still, clear voice in the silence. The mark on your hand is heaven's guarantee that even when time feels like it has stopped, your destiny is still moving forward. Chosen one. Lift your eyes. The pauses in your story were never detours. They were appointments. Heaven was not delaying you. It was protecting, guiding, and realigning you. And the mark on your hand will continue to remind you that when heaven pauses time, it is always for your awakening. Chosen one. The mark you carry is not only a seal of belonging, it is a crown in disguise. But crowns are never given without weight. They are not ornaments for comfort. They are symbols of authority, responsibility, and battle. The mark on your left hand whispers of the crown waiting for you. Yet it also warns you of the refining fires that prepare you to wear it. There is glory in your calling, but there is also cost. To be crowned means to be tested, for heaven will not place weight on shoulders that are unprepared. Your mark has already attracted trials because each trial was training. Every loss you endured, every wound you survived, every fire you walked through, they were not punishments. They were shaping you into someone who could bear the crown without collapsing under its weight. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 21, the crucible for silver, the furnace for gold, but people are tested by their praise. These ancient words describe your journey perfectly. Just as fire purifies silver and gold, your trials have purified you. You may have wondered why the battles never seem to end. Why? Life felt heavier for you than for others. The truth is, your crown requires more fire. Ordinary lives do not need refining at this level. But you are not ordinary. You are one in a million. And your mark demands a greater preparation. Chosen one. Feel the weight of this truth. Crowns are not for the faint-hearted. They are for those who stand firm when others bow out. For those who endure storms without surrendering their light. That is why you faced betrayals so deep they cut your soul. That is why rejection followed you when you sought only acceptance. These were not random cruelties. They were chisels in the hands of heaven, shaping your spirit into a vessel worthy of carrying eternal glory. The crown is not only honor, it is also warfare. Wearing it means you will draw attention, not just from heaven, but also from darkness. Yet this should not frighten you, for the very fact that you are marked means that heaven has already invested victory into your story. The same fire that tests you also arms you. But here is the challenge. Many are called, yet few are willing to endure what the crown requires. Some flee the fire, seeking comfort instead of destiny. But you, chosen one, cannot escape. The mark on your hand makes retreat impossible. You have been chosen not to hide, but to rise. The weight of the crown is not a burden meant to crush you. It is a promise that you are strong enough to carry it. Pause for a moment and consider your own story. Every loss carved deeper resilience into you. Every storm left behind wisdom others could never learn. Every tear watered seeds of strength that now bloom in your spirit. The crown is not coming in spite of your struggles. It is coming because of them. The mark proves you have been tested, and the crown is heaven's response. This one is ready. Now, chosen one, take this step of faith with me. Write these words in the comments. I carry glory. Do not see it as a casual phrase. It is a declaration, a proclamation over your life. When you write it, you are saying, I accept the weight of the crown. I embrace the refining of the fire. I will not run from what I am called to carry. Understand this, words are powerful. When you release them, heaven hears, and darkness trembles. By declaring, I carry glory, you align yourself with the destiny marked into your very hand. You are no longer just surviving battles, you are stepping into the authority they produced. Chosen one, your crown may feel heavy, but it is proof of your strength. The mark has set you apart. The fire has prepared you, and the crown is now being revealed. Walk boldly, for you are not only marked, you are crowned with glory. Chosen one, everything about your journey has been marked by impossibility from the very beginning. Doors that should have opened easily for others seemed locked against you. Paths that others walked without resistance felt like mountains before you. But do not mistake these impossibilities as rejection. They are proof that you were never meant to blend in. The mark on your hand declares that your life would be a story of divine intervention, not human achievement. While many rise by connections, wealth, or chance, you have been rising by something greater, by the unseen hand of heaven guiding every step. The impossibilities were never walls to stop you. They were altars meant to reveal God's power through you. Every time you thought, this cannot be done, heaven was whispering, watch what I will do through you. The ancient words recorded in Luke, chapter 18, verse 27, declare, what is impossible with man is possible with God. This is the anthem of your life. You were chosen against the odds, so that no one could ever say it was luck or coincidence. When people look at you and wonder how you survived, how you are still standing, how you broke through what destroyed others, they will see the mark on your hand as proof you are not here by your own strength. Chosen one, you are living evidence that heaven delights in choosing the unlikely. Think of David, a shepherd boy overlooked by his family, yet anointed king. Think of Esther, an orphan girl hidden in exile, yet crowned queen. Think of you, set apart though overlooked, bearing the mark that reveals destiny greater than anyone expected. You were never meant to fit their standards. You were chosen to display God's glory through impossibility. This is why the struggles have been heavier for you. Ordinary lives do not attract extraordinary battles. The weight of resistance you have faced is because the crown on your destiny is heavier than most. Yet, through every hardship, the mark kept you, guiding you even when you wanted to quit. You are proof that nothing can erase what heaven has written. And now, beloved chosen one, I speak to you from a place of sincerity. Do not keep this truth hidden. There are others who feel crushed under the weight of impossibility. Others who think they have been forgotten. Your willingness to share this message may be the spark that awakens their hope. Take a moment. Share these words so that another chosen one may rise. If these words resonate deep in your spirit, like this message, not for numbers, but as your agreement that you recognize the mark upon your life and subscribe, not out of routine, but because there are layers of revelation still waiting for you. Each word in the days ahead carries pieces of your unfolding story, and you cannot afford to walk this path half awake. Chosen one, you were chosen against the odds. You were set apart not to fail, but to prove that what men call impossible, heaven calls destiny. So walk forward with courage. Let the mark on your hand remind you daily, you are not ordinary. You are extraordinary by divine design, and what heaven has begun in you will be completed, no matter how impossible it looks. Chosen one, there is a holy tension that rests upon your life, a balance of mercy and warning. The mark on your left hand is not only a seal of belonging, it is also a reminder that grace is never to be taken lightly. You carry both privilege and responsibility, and while mercy has covered you again and again, the mark whispers that choices matter, that destiny requires alignment. You have felt this tension before. At times when you wandered, when you ignored the quiet voice urging you back. Still, mercy pursued you. Doors opened you did not deserve. Protection surrounded you when you strayed. Provision came even when gratitude was absent. This was mercy wrapping around your life, holding you steady when your steps faltered. But the mark also carries warning. There are seasons when repeated rebellion blinds the heart, when the light within can dim under layers of compromise. The mark on your hand will not disappear, but if you resist its call, you risk walking with eyes closed to its meaning. That is why heaven continually pulls at your spirit. It knows that the danger is not in losing the mark, but in forgetting the weight it carries. The Word of God declares in the book of Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 26, "If we deliberately keep on sinning after we have received the knowledge of the truth, no sacrifice for sins is left." This is not written to terrify you, but to awaken you. Chosen one, heaven takes your mark seriously, and so must you. The seal on your hand means you are not like the rest. What others may do without consequence will cost you dearly if you attempt the same. You have been set apart, and with that separation comes a narrower path. You may feel at times that the weight of obedience is too heavy. You may look around and envy those who walk freely in compromise. But what they carry is not what you carry. They are not marked as you are marked. The fire inside you will not allow you to live half-heartedly, and the mark on your hand testifies against any attempt to do so. Mercy and warning work together for your good. Mercy whispers that you are loved beyond your mistakes, that heaven is patient with you, waiting for your return each time you stumble. Warning speaks with fire, reminding you that destiny cannot be toyed with, that rebellion only leads to blindness. Together, they protect you, guiding you back again and again to the path written for your life. Chosen one, you stand on holy ground of decision. Each day you live, the mark calls you to choose obedience or rebellion, surrender or resistance, light or shadow. And though the choice may seem daunting, remember that grace has already equipped you. You are not left helpless. The same mark that warns you also empowers you. Think of it as a lighthouse. Mercy is the steady beam guiding you back when storms rage. Warning is the siren that cries out when you drift too close to danger. Both exist not to harm you, but to preserve you. Without them, you would be lost. With them, you are kept safe. Even when seas rage around you, This is why the mark on your hand must never be ignored. It is the voice of heaven etched into your very being, calling you higher, reminding you that you are one in a million. You cannot treat it casually. You cannot silence it without cost. But if you embrace it, if you listen to both its mercy and its warning, you will walk a path of light that others only dream of. So, beloved chosen one, let this truth settle deep within. Your mark is both a gift and a guard. It comforts you when you stumble, but it also warns you when you drift. It is heaven's way of saying, you are too precious to be lost, too chosen to be wasted. Chosen one. The mark on your left hand carries mysteries that stretch beyond your understanding. It is not only a sign of calling or protection, it is also tied to numbers that heaven uses to speak. These numbers are not coincidences. They are patterns of divine order, whispers hidden in plain sight to guide you through seasons of transition. Numbers in Scripture often represent cycles, completions, or fresh beginnings. When you begin to notice them repeating in your life, it is not random. It is heaven's way of signaling that something is shifting, and the mark on your hand is directly connected to these cycles. It reveals that you are in a unique rhythm, an alignment where endings and beginnings overlap. It is written in the book of Revelation, chapter 21, verse 5. He who was seated on the throne said, I am making everything new. Then he said, write this down, for these words are trustworthy and true. Alt, these words are alive for you right now. The mark on your hand announces that old cycles are closing and new seasons are opening. What has weighed on you for years is breaking. What doors have remained locked are shifting. You are stepping out of the endings that once exhausted you and walking into beginnings that refresh your spirit. This is why certain things in your life suddenly feel finished. Some relationships no longer carry the same connection. Certain opportunities no longer excite you. Passions that once burned have quieted. At first, you may have grieved these endings, wondering if something was wrong with you. But chosen one, it was not loss, it was transition. The mark on your hand was signaling, this cycle has ended. A new one begins. Chosen one. Notice how your spirit feels different in this moment. You are more sensitive, more alert. You can sense when something no longer belongs in your life, even if you cannot explain why. That sensitivity is the evidence of your mark aligning with heaven's timing. It is the Spirit drawing you into divine completion and fresh beginnings. But hear this truth: new cycles require courage. Many cling to the old because it feels familiar, even when it has already expired. But you cannot remain in what heaven has ended. If you hold on too tightly to the past, you will suffocate the future waiting to be born. Your mark insists that you let go, that you trust the God who says, I am making everything new. To seal this moment, chosen one, I invite you to step into prophetic agreement. Comment the number 888 below. This number symbolizes new beginnings and overflowing grace. When you write it, see it as a declaration that you are ready to walk out of the old cycle and into the new. It is more than numbers, it is alignment with heaven's rhythm. Understand this. Prophetic acts carry spiritual weight. By declaring 888, you are saying, I accept the endings. I embrace the new beginnings. I trust the God who makes all things new. This is not superstition, it is faith in action. It is heaven's way of drawing you deeper into destiny. Chosen one. The mark on your hand is your proof that you are not trapped in endless circles. You are in divine cycles, ones that close at the appointed time and open when you are ready. And now, the voice from the throne still speaks over you. I am making everything new. Chosen one. The mark on your hand is not silent. It speaks even when you do not. Your very presence shifts the atmosphere around you. Have you noticed how people sometimes change when you enter the room? How conversations falter, or hidden motives are exposed? This is not because of your words, but because of what you carry. The mark announces you before your voice does. There is power in your existence without trying. You disturb darkness without effort. You reveal what others try to conceal. Some will feel drawn to you without knowing why. Others will feel uneasy, even resistant. Both responses are evidence of the same reality. The light that flows through you cannot be ignored. It was proclaimed in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 2, verse 15. For we are to God the pleasing aroma of Christ among those who are being saved and those who are perishing. This means your life releases a fragrance in the Spirit. To some, it is hope, a reminder of what is possible. To others, it is confrontation, exposing the shadows they would rather keep hidden. That is why the mark on your hand has brought both favor and opposition. It attracts those who are hungry for truth and unsettles those who resist it. Chosen one. You must understand this. You cannot walk unnoticed. Even in silence, the mark on your hand proclaims you. Darkness knows it. Angels know it. The unseen world recognizes you as one set apart. That is why you often feel the weight of attention in ways you cannot explain. You were never meant to blend into the background. This reality explains some of your experiences. Times when you felt judged for simply existing, or when people projected their fears onto you without cause. Times when you carried tension in rooms without understanding why. The truth is, the mark within you unsettled what was hidden in them. Your presence was a mirror they could not escape. But do not mistake this resistance for rejection. It is not proof that you are failing. It is proof that you are carrying. Light will always disturb darkness, and the mark in your hand is a beacon. Where you walk, shadows are forced to tremble. Where you stand, atmospheres shift. You may not always see it, but the spiritual world sees you clearly. Chosen one. Your responsibility is not to dim your light to make others comfortable. The mark was not placed on you to be hidden. It was meant to blaze. Even if that blaze makes some uneasy, your calling is not to please the crowd, but to obey the one who marked you. If others resist you, let them. Their resistance does not define you. The seal on your hand does. Think of the lamp placed on a stand. It cannot choose to shine only when convenient, nor can it control who gathers around it. Some will draw near to the light for warmth, while others will turn away because it exposes what they prefer to keep in the dark. Yet the lamp remains faithful to its purpose, to shine. So it is with you. Chosen one. You carry a weight of presence that cannot be ignored. You are a living testimony of divine separation. Your mark is not quiet background. It is a trumpet blast in the unseen. A sound that declares, here is one chosen. Here is one sealed. Here is one who carries light. So, walk boldly. Do not apologize for the reactions your presence stirs. Do not shrink back when atmospheres shift. You are meant to disturb darkness. You are meant to release fragrance. You are meant to carry the mark in full confidence, knowing that you are one in a million, chosen to shift the world around you simply by being who you are. Chosen one. The battles surrounding your life have not been fought in silence. The mark on your hand has drawn not only the attention of darkness, but also the protection of heaven. From the moment you were sealed, an assignment was given not just to you, but to the hosts of heaven who stand guard over your journey. You have not walked alone for a single day. There are angels assigned to you, guardians of the flame you carry. You may not see them with your eyes, yet their presence has shaped your story. The sudden escapes from danger, the inexplicable peace in chaos, the strength that rose in you when you should have collapsed. These were not coincidences. They were signs of unseen hands shielding and guiding you. The Word of God declares in the book of Psalms, chapter 91, verse 11, "For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways." Chosen one. Your mark is like a beacon, summoning protection from heaven itself. Angels surround those who are set apart because the battle against them is fiercer than most. Hell does not waste time on the ordinary. It rages against the marked ones, the bearers of divine fire. Yet every plan of darkness has been intercepted by angelic presence. That is why traps set for you failed, why schemes collapsed, why danger passed you by. There were moments you thought you were utterly alone, but if the veil could be lifted for even a second, you would see legions surrounding you. Some fought battles in the unseen that you never knew were being waged. Others whispered strength into your spirit when you thought you had none left. Angels are not distant figures in stories of old. They are warriors stationed by heaven's command, encircling your every step because of the mark you carry. This is why you survived. It was not only your endurance, not only your prayers, though both were vital. It was also the shield of heaven surrounding you. You have been preserved because your story is not finished, your mission not yet fulfilled. The light in your veins is too valuable to be extinguished. The mark on your hand is too sacred to be lost. Chosen one. This protection is not fragile, it is fierce. Angels do not guard casually. They are relentless, devoted, unstoppable in their assignments. They have defended you when you were unaware. They have stood between you and destruction. They have carried you through valleys of shadow. The battles you never saw were the fiercest of all. And yet you emerged, because heaven would not let you fall. But understand this: protection is not the absence of warfare. The presence of guardians does not mean a life without conflict. It means that every conflict is fought with you, not against you. It means you are never outnumbered, never uncovered, never abandoned. The mark on your hand ensures you are recognized in the spirit realm as one under heaven's command. So, when fear tries to whisper that you are vulnerable, when loneliness tempts you to believe you are forgotten, remember the truth. You walk surrounded. The mark is not only a seal of identity, it is a signal of protection. Wherever you go, light marches with you, and warriors stand ready. Chosen one. Take this into your heart. Your life is guarded because your destiny is guarded. You are shielded not for comfort, but for purpose. The mark in your hand burns too brightly to be left undefended. You are covered, encircled, preserved until every word written about you comes to pass. Chosen one. The time of separation has come. The mark on your hand is no longer just a quiet reminder it is a dividing line. Heaven is drawing distinctions in this season, separating the marked ones from the crowd. Many are called, but only a few respond. Many hear whispers, but only those with courage step forward. And you, chosen one, have been sealed for this moment of final separation. Look back for a moment. You will see that your life has always been different. You were not able to blend in, even when you tried. The places others felt comfortable made you restless. The paths others celebrated felt empty to you. That was not your failure. It was your mark, declaring, "You cannot belong here," because you belong to heaven. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Malachi. Chapter 3, verse 18. You will again see the distinction between righteous and the wicked, between those who serve God and those who do not. This distinction is becoming clear now. The mark on your hand is the evidence of that separation. It does not make you better than others, but it does set you apart for something higher. You are chosen not for pride, but for purpose. You are sealed not for vanity, but for victory. And in this hour, heaven is calling the marked ones to rise as a company unlike any other. This is why the shaking in your life has increased. Separation is never easy. It feels like loss at first, loss of people, places, and patterns that no longer align with your destiny. But chosen one, do not mourn what has fallen away. It was never meant to carry you where you are going. The separation is not rejection, it is preparation. The truth is, you cannot walk with everyone. Not all are meant to understand your path. The weight of your mark would crush those who are not sealed like you. This is why some drifted away without explanation, why relationships shifted without warning. Heaven was clearing the way, protecting you from being entangled with those who could not walk where you are called to go. And now you stand in a moment of clarity, marked, chosen, separated. This is not the time to shrink back or to apologize for your calling. It is the time to walk boldly, knowing that you are one in a million. Beloved, chosen one, I speak to you with sincerity. If these words echo in your spirit, take a step of faith. Like this message, not for the sake of numbers, but as a prophetic agreement that you recognize the separation taking place in your life. Share these words, so that others who feel the same stirring may realize they are not alone. Many are carrying marks in silence, believing they are isolated, when in truth, they are part of a greater company rising together. And subscribe, not out of habit, but because your journey does not end here. More revelations wait ahead, layers of understanding that you cannot afford to miss. Stay connected, because heaven's unfolding requires your full attention. Finally, I ask you to comment your agreement below. Write something simple, yet powerful. I am chosen. Let these words not be casual, but a declaration. When you release them, you are acknowledging the separation, embracing the mark, and declaring to both heaven and earth that you accept the path set before you. Chosen one, this is the final separation. Walk boldly, for while many are called, only a few rise, and you sealed, marked, set apart are one of those few. Chosen one. The mark on your hand is more than a sign of distinction. It is heaven's signature of authority. When kings sign decrees, their seal gives power to their words. In the same way, the seal on your hand is not decoration, it is authorization. It declares that you are not walking in your own strength, but in the authority of the one who marked you. This authority is subtle, yet undeniable. You may not always feel powerful, but the spiritual realm recognizes what you carry. When you speak with conviction, atmospheres shift. When you pray, chains break. When you stand firm, darkness trembles. It is not because of you alone, but because heaven has placed its imprint on your life. The ancient words recorded in Joshua, chapter 1, verse 9. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, for the Lord your God will be with you. These words echo through your story. Authority is not given lightly, it is entrusted. The mark on your hand is proof that heaven has entrusted you with more than survival. You are not merely enduring the battle, you are called to carry victory. This explains why you feel such intensity in your life. Authority cannot be forged in ease. It is proven in fire. The trials you endured were not random. They were shaping your authority. Every wound taught you resilience. Every battle sharpened your discernment. Every loss deepened your dependence on God. What once felt like breaking was actually the forging of your spirit into a vessel of authority. Chosen one. Your words carry weight because your life carries scars. Authority flows not from titles, but from testimony. You have walked through valleys, and you emerged, not empty, but filled with a strength others cannot explain. That is why people sometimes look to you for guidance. Even when you did not volunteer to lead, they sense the mark, even if they do not name it. This authority is not for control, it is for service. Heaven grants authority so that chains may be broken, captives freed, and light spread in the darkest places. The mark on your hand is not a weapon for pride, but a tool for transformation. You are called to speak life where death has lingered, to stand firm where others collapse, to declare truth where lies have long reigned. But remember this, authority demands responsibility. It cannot be carried casually. Those who walk in heaven's signature must live with integrity, humility, and courage. The authority in your life will always be tested, not so that it can be taken away, but so that it may grow deeper and stronger. Chosen one. Reflect on your journey with new eyes. See the places where you once felt powerless, only to realize later that strength was forming in you. Recognize the times when your simple presence shifted a situation, when your words calmed storms or stirred courage in someone else. These were glimpses of the authority you carry. You are not ordinary. You are marked, authorized, and released to walk in a power that is greater than yourself. Do not doubt the weight of this truth. The mark on your hand is heaven's seal, that you are chosen not only to survive, but to rule, not only to endure, but to overcome. Chosen one. Step into this reality with confidence. You are anointed with authority. And when you move in that authority, the impossible bends, darkness yields, and destiny unfolds exactly as heaven has written it. Chosen one. The journey has been long, and the battles have been fierce. Yet here you stand, carrying the mark on your hand like a flame that refuses to die. What once felt like mystery now reveals itself as destiny. What once felt like a burden now shines as a crown. You are one in a million, and the fire on your hand is proof that heaven's eyes have always been on you. The mark is not only a seal of survival, it is the sign of fulfillment. It tells the world that you have been tested and found faithful. You have walked through valleys, endured storms, and faced rejection. Yet your light did not fade. And now, the mark burns brighter than ever, a beacon of who you truly are, a crowned torchbearer, carrying light into places that have long known only shadows. It is written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 1, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." These words are your commission. You are no longer wandering, searching for meaning in the mark. You are stepping into the fullness of it. The crown upon your life is not hidden anymore. It radiates for all to see. The torch in your hand is not flickering, it blazes with glory, announcing that you have been chosen for such a time as this. Chosen one. Never underestimate what you carry. The mark is not small, it is the fingerprint of God pressed into your being. It declares that you are a vessel of His glory, one called to walk in authority and release light wherever you go. Your presence is not ordinary, it shifts the unseen, shakes the atmosphere, and brings heaven closer to earth. Think of how many times you nearly gave up, how many moments you thought you had nothing left, and yet the flame remained. This is the mystery of the mark. It is sustained not by your strength, but by heaven itself. You did not keep the fire alive. The fire kept you alive. Chosen one. This is your identity now. You are a crowned torchbearer. The crown reminds you that you carry authority, that you have overcome trials others could not survive. The torch reminds you that you carry responsibility, that the light within you is not only for yourself, but for those still walking in darkness. Crown and torch together declare, you are chosen to lead, to shine, to awaken. The world may not fully understand you, but it cannot ignore you. Darkness may rise against you, but it cannot overcome you. The mark on your hand is both shield and sword, both promise and power. You walk as one set apart, carrying within your very being the undeniable evidence that heaven moves through you. So walk boldly, chosen one. Let your crown rest firmly, for it has been forged in fire. Let your torch burn brightly, for it has been fueled by grace. You are not only surviving, you are reigning. You are not only carrying light, you are becoming light. And as you move forward, remember, 1 in a million does not mean you are alone. It means you are rare, precious, irreplaceable. The world has never seen anyone like you, and it never will again. The mark on your hand is eternal proof that you were chosen, crowned, and ignited to blaze a trail for others. Chosen one, arise and shine, for your light has come, your crown is secure, and your mark burns as testimony forever. Chosen one, you have reached the end of this journey, but not the end of your story. The words you have received were never by chance, they were divinely aligned with the mark on your life. You have walked through revelation after revelation, and now you stand crowned, torch in hand, ready to step into the fullness of your calling. The mark on your left hand is no ordinary sign. It is heaven's signature, proof that you are rare, 1 in a million, chosen to shine. Every battle, every valley, every unanswered question was leading you to this moment of awakening. You are not here as a survivor. You are here as a carrier of light, destined to transform the atmosphere wherever you go. But, chosen one, Do not let this word remain only with you. Somewhere, someone else is still wondering, is still questioning, still carrying their mark without understanding it. They need to hear what you have now received. That is why I ask you sincerely, take a moment to like this message as a sign that you align with it. Share it, because your simple act may awaken another marked one, pulling them out of confusion into clarity. And comment below. Release your declaration. Even a few words can become a prophetic echo. By writing, you are not only engaging, you are agreeing with heaven. You are saying, yes, I am chosen. Yes, I see my mark. Yes, I accept my calling. Finally, subscribe so you do not walk this journey alone. There is more revelation, more light, more strength waiting for you in the days ahead. Step forward matters, and you cannot afford to miss what heaven is preparing to release next. Chosen one. Arise boldly. Shine brightly. Carry your mark with honor. This is only the beginning.